Okay. Okay, so we are now officially live and the session has started live on YouTube. Yeah, good evening once again. This is Rogers Mukalele, and the one who is introducing today's session of each one, hosting it. And we are having our speaker on call, who's going to be telling us about creating fast and impressive designs in any software. Although he's going to be using Illustrator, the principles that he has prepared are going to be able to be cross-cutting, because some of us are teaching our learners and our computers may not be having Illustrator, but how can we come up with good graphics to aid our work? So in ICT, one of the skills which is desirable is the skill of graphics design. Some of us, we are not good. Even our own schools have events, but we cannot even make a small poster that can be tweeted about maybe sports day or any program at school. Or some of us are having small businesses around. We cannot make graphics that we can be able to use to promote our products or to send out messages during any of these. So this is a skill that we need to appreciate and get it. And also when we are teaching our learners different topics, PowerPoint, web design, and others, graphics are part and parcel of this journey. So we are delighted to be on this call, and I want to welcome each and everyone who has joined in today. Just before I again hand over to Mr. Jalil, I want to give an opportunity to 2 of 4 members. I want to see, is there anyone from let me start from Western Uganda? Either you were born there or you are there right now. Western Uganda, you can put up your hand. If you know how to put up your hand, you unmute and then you greet us. Your school and where you are based. Anyone from Western Uganda? Mr. Augustine?
Yes. Yes, I'm
Right, yes.
available.
Yeah, which school are you in?
Yeah. St. Louis Girls. This is Kambuga. You what, sir?
Oh, yes, I've heard. Thank you very much. We are glad to have you. Okay, let me have someone. There was Bright. I don't know whether you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mukarele. So I'm called Bright from Isinjiro Secondary School in Isinjiro District.
Okay, we are glad to have you. Let us have someone from Eastern Uganda. Eastern Uganda, across the bridge. Yes, Lago Charles can greet us.
Good evening, members. I'm Lango Charles. I teach Palisa Progressive Secondary School.
Okay, yeah, very welcome, Mr. Charles, all the way from Palisa. Then Wycliffe.
Yeah, I'm Galas Wycliffe. Good evening, members. I teach in Mbale at Bugiswa School.
Okay, we're glad to have you. Okay, let us have someone from Northern Uganda. Northern Uganda representing Dutch.
Hello, good evening, guys. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
good evening.
Good evening
Yes,
to you.
Yes.
Yes,
good
I'm a
evening,
Dutch
members.
from Lira, Northern Uganda, Dara Christian High School.
Okay, glad to have you. Any other person from Northern?
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
This is Jalil, the presenter.
Yes, now we can.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay,
yes.
But I can't share a video yet. I don't know why.
I'm going to make you a co-host.
Okay.
So you should be able to share your screen. Let us finish the few instructions and then we shall be handing over to you in just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we were Northern Uganda. Any other person? Chigara Isaac.
Thank you so much. Chirga Isaac from Koboko Public Secondary School in Koboko.
Okay, thank you very much. Glad to have you. Okay, so now let us have from Central Uganda. Anyone presenting Central? Others you can put in the chat. I can. Mr. Anjabi.
Maybe
Hello.
from outside of Uganda. I'm available from Ethiopia, from College of Computing.
Okay, Zola, thank you very much. Uganda.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, good evening, members. This is Mukasa Ronald from Kagwa.
From where?
Sir Apollo Kagwa, Mukono.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so members, that is just a sample. So this one's really impressive that we have people from all parts of the country and even outside the country. And like I was saying, this is the Each One Teach One series by ICT Teachers Association of Uganda. And this is a session we have every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So I think it is a very good initiative for us to always meet and learn, because if you meet in a workshop, a one-day thing, you can't. But if we have every week, then we can be able to make impact and improve ourselves. So I want to thank RAPT, Izon School of Computing, MK Graphics Designers, and Shabita Uganda for supporting this program, and all other members in the ICT Teachers Association of Uganda. So at this time, I want us to welcome Mr. Jalil. Mr. Jalil, I hope you can be able to share your screen now, and you can try to share your screen now, Mr. Jalil.
Let me see here.
And then you'll be able to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, members. Let me first try to share the screen. Good evening, everyone. This is
Yes.
Abdul Jalil Samagumya. I'm a graphics designer, I'm a video producer, and I'm a content creator as well. I've been in the field for more than 7 years now. Before I start on, I would like to thank the organizing committee. I would like to thank ICT Teachers Association of Uganda. I would like to thank Shareability Uganda. I would like to thank Izon School of Computing. I'd like to thank MK Graphics Designers and RAPT Multimedia Agency, which I act as CEO or founding director. Thank you so much, everyone. So I welcome you to this other session of Each One Teach One series. And today we are going to look at creating fast and impressive designs in any software. I'm going to be using Adobe Illustrator. Those who don't know Adobe Illustrator, it is one of the standard softwares, or the biggest commonly used software for graphics design. And it's what I'm going to be using as a sample. But what I'm going to teach covers design in details, regardless of what software you're using. So without wasting time, I want us to go into our video. and we proceed. Let me first create a new document. There are certain things I'm going to jump because of time. Stuff like creating new documents and setting up the software, because we are not learning the software, we are learning design in general, and there's a lot to cover. So let me try to set up a page which we're going to use. I hope everyone is hearing me well.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, principles. Create fast and impressive designs in any software. So many people have a challenge when it comes to creating design. You start on something, along the way you get puzzled, and you try to build, you try to join concepts, things are not working out, and you're using a lot of time. So I actually found an easier way of coming up with impressive designs and in a much faster way. So in this example, let's say I'm going to create a piece of artwork. Let's say it's a flyer, or it's a brochure, calendar, or any other design piece of work. You're trying to design a badge or a logo. So what you must put in to consideration is you need what we call elements and principles of design. These ones I'm going to highlight them of you, and we do something practical and call it a day. So talking about elements of design is what we put in design. Is what we put in design. What makes design? Elements of design. So for it to be called a design, it has to have elements. And in these elements, we have things like color, we have things like shapes, we have things like text, we have things like patterns, we have things like lines, things like photography, we have things like illustrations, we have things like sound, we have things like iconography or icons. So there are so many elements. However, I'm just going to highlight a few elements that the commonly used elements. So if you notice, when you look at each and every piece of artwork, let me try to share another screen here. Okay, hope you guys are seeing this.
We are still seeing the illustrator screen of elements of design. Maybe
you're seeing the illustrator screen.
Yeah, you may have to stop sharing and share the entire screen or something.
Okay, is there where I can do it? Is there where it can be done from that side? Because I'm trying to shift to another screen.
Let me do this. Okay, now try sharing again. Try sharing, and this time you share the first box, the entire screen.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I want you to look at, these are samples of artworks designed in, these are designs. So I want us to look at the elements and try to spot out look at the designs and try to spot out the elements. So I'll take an example of this flyer. Hope everyone is seeing it. So if you look at this, what makes this flyer look beautiful as it is the elements that are added in it. As you can see, as we mentioned, we have the color, the green color, and the black, and any other color inside here. We have the shapes, the drawn shapes right here of different sizes and angles. We have the circles and these, so many shapes. We have text, we have the photography, we have some bit of illustrations. I'll say the QR code can represent the illustrations. We have icons, the home icon, website icon, the awards here, the call icon. I didn't mention logos. We have a logo here. We have a logo here. All these are contributing to the beauty of this flyer. So now that we have the elements, what else do we have to use? Mr. Rogers, are you able to see Illustrator?
Not. We are still seeing the elements. Design.
Still seeing the elements. Okay, just a brief. Let's try to look at another simple design somewhere here. Okay, let's have a look at this. The night club flyer. You can see still we have the text. We have some bit of photography. We have some shapes down here. We have the text. We have color. We have electric illustrations drawn here. We have we don't have icon. We have dollar signs. We don't have icons. We don't have depth elements here. But you see, still the artwork looks pretty nice. So I want to share a screen again. Let me try it from this side this time around. Okay.
Hey, sorry, I disturbed your sharing. So you can share again. You can try to share the entire screen if there's no problem.
Sorry?
You have now shared the. Okay, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, now let's come to our very own flyer. I want us to pick out the few elements that are used when designing this flyer, and we see what made it come out this way. So we're seeing the photography, the picture of me. We're seeing the text. We're seeing the color, different color variations, the dark blue and lighter blue. We have the grayish, the brownish on the Itaú logo. We have different logos down here. Remember, logos are also elements of design. We have icons when it comes to the date, the time, the zoom. We have icons here representing. We have something in the background. I don't know if you can see it from that side. We have patterns running in the background. I talked about patterns. Someone will ask how patterns are used in design. We usually use patterns in backgrounds, not to let them look blank or faint, to create that beauty in the background as well, but it has to be faint. So after us seeing this, I want us to, let me try to share a screen again. I want us to look at, it's kind of hard for me. Has it shared? Are we seeing Illustrator?
No, we're still seeing. You try to share. You try to share now.
Okay, let me try to share. Okay, I think now everyone is seeing the Illustrator right now. So these are the elements. Elements, we said, is what we put in the design. It's what the design consists of. These are what we use in design. Then we have what guides the design is the principles. The principles of design. So after you have the elements, things that you need to put in your design, then we go to how you use them. This is what, and these are, I'm going to put them. These are how. Okay. How and what. What we use in design, then principles are how. Amongst the principles, we have things like balance. Well, we have things like perspective. We have things like repetition. Repetition. We have things like hierarchy. We have things like proportionality. We have things like white balance. I'm going to run through this, then we get to the practical bit of it. You have things like contrast. Sorry for the spellings. We shall see those later on. So we come to the principles. There are quite many, just like elements. I think I've left out. I've left out like around 4 or 5 of them. So let's start with balance. Considering our artwork, how do we use balance as a principle? I'm still finding challenges while sharing the screen. Okay.
There is an option of sharing the entire screen. The very first box when you're sharing. There you will share.
Are you seeing the Pinterest?
Yes.
Balance as a principle of design. So when I talk about balance, I'm trying to mean what we call visual weight on either sides of your artwork, regardless of what you're creating, regardless of what you are designing in any software. Having balance in your work is very key. It helps your work look equally heavy on either sides, makes your work look good, not falling on one side of the sheet. So when I talk about balance, in this case, we look at visual weight. Let's say I'm trying to design a flyer, or I have my space. I think I'm gonna have to switch to Illustrator again. Okay, let's try to create another artboard here and talk about balance only. So I have this is my space, this is my design space. I'm trying to create, put in design. Maybe I'm having shapes of different shapes in my artwork. So I'm not going to have all this running on one side of being aligned on one side of my page. So I'm going to have weight on one side of the artboard of my on one side of my design space, leaving the other side unattended to this other side. So anything that you're trying to create, you have to make sure that there is equal space on either sides of your artboard, of your workspace. So if you look at this and something different from this, we have maybe this and group. I have this here and this somewhere here or here. I'll have this space unattended too. In design, we focus more on the having equal space on either sides. This makes our work look better. Let's look at perspective. I want to share a screen again. When I explain this while designing, it will take a lot of time. Let's use already designed work. Let me try to share screen again. Okay. Let's use more Pinterest. We shall go to Illustrator when we do practical. Okay. Let's look at perspective in design. So we literally use perspective when we have so many things to put in our design. You'll find that you have a lot of elements, maybe from the client's instructions, you have a lot of things to put in your design. How do you try to fit all these in your design? This is where the principle of perspective comes in. You make the things on top bigger and the things at the bottom, at the back, you make them smaller in size. So with perspective, things tend to, or elements in design tend to be smaller when it comes to distance, with distance. So I want us to look at maybe a flyer that has perspective on it. Perspective, flyer with perspective. So let's look at this. Is everyone able to see this? Hello?
Yes,
we can.
Okay, let's have a look at this flyer. He has little text, but if he wanted to make this text, if this text was placed normally, remember this is a horizontal, this is a vertical space. As you can see, the flyer is vertical and the text is more wide. So if he was to make it in the normal way, it would be cropped off. You would be forced to either shrink the text or to make it smaller in size without skewing it. So in this case, he wanted to make the text bigger and readable. So this is where he brought in the principle of balance. Still, when it comes to other elements, not text alone, he had to fix in this airplane. And the plane is also tilted to rhyme with the text, this makes the perspective and makes the this builds the perspective and makes all the elements in the artwork visible. If I'm to okay, let's look at another flyer here. We have maximize your shipping options. Okay, all of you know a ship is something really big. And if you're trying to fit something like of that size, maybe on a flyer, and you want all the details to be seen, when you try to put it the right way or the side way, the side view of the ship, we would barely see the back or the front of the ship, depending on how you put it, or depending on how you've put it. And the easy way to create the entire ship visible is giving it that 360 degree or putting it or tilting it to create the perspective principle in your design. So when you tilt your photos, or when you use photos which are tilted, or when you use photos that have perspective in them, you have the higher chances of achieving more with limited space. and seeing more views. You see more views. You can see the top, you can see the side, you can see the front as well. That is with perspective. Same thing with the text. Maximize your shipping options. You can see the text is really big, and we can see the entire text. Unlike the way it would have been here, if it was placed normally or without being tilted, it would either cover the photo or not fit here, or we'll be forced to make it smaller for it to fit. So perspective, I'm not going to take long on some of these elements. Let's look at contrast. Contrast, this is to do with bright versus dark, mainly color. How do you use contrast to create designs or to create the point of interest? Let's say I have a flyer and I have a busy flyer and I want my concentration, or I want my audience to see something fast. I want them to focus on one thing. In contrast, flyer with contrast, flyer with the contrast. So we are trying to look at contrast is mainly to do with color, bright versus dark. You find so many people trying to fix bright text or bright icons or bright elements on bright backgrounds. That makes the background and the foreground not visible. Fight for visibility. So you end up having an noise in your work. So what do we do when we want to have everything visible and having our point of interest somewhere? We are going to use bright versus dark. As you can see on this flyer, we have the text, bright text or bright icons as well, versus a dark background. When we have a bright background, the orange yellowish background, the designer decides to use black text. So contrast is relation to brightness versus darkness. How you're able to see, how you're able to use bright and dark elements in your design. When you look at this piece of work, our main focus, or the designer wanted us to focus on the person exiting this door and the sun here. So he decided to use this entire piece or side of the design work of the art piece. He decided to make it dark and leave our area of interest bright, making our concentration in that area as soon as you see the work. That is how contrast is used. You can see something still here. We have the bright stairs and slightly darker background with a human being seated here. You can see easily the concentration runs around this area of the person. Otherwise, if this was busy and this is busy, we wouldn't be able to see where our point of interest is. I think contrast is done. Same thing here. You can use this. Now this is contrast in photos. This can be a photo. By the way, these elements, all these principles cut across everywhere, whether in photography or videography or architectural work or fashion design or engineering, for as long as you use design anywhere. These elements are applied anywhere. You use contrast everywhere. You use perspective everywhere, balance everywhere. There is a reason as to why you have whatever you have on your left, you have it on your right. That is balance on the human body. This is God's design. You can look at, I'll give an example of products on the market, like automotive products. You can see vehicles. You can see how they try to balance whatever is on the left. They give it same size or same equal space on the right side. The headlights, the side mirrors, and everything. These principles are applied everywhere. For as long as you have these principles and these elements, you can improve your designs. Let us look at another, probably the last one, and we go into the practical bit of it. Let's try to look at another commonly used principle. Repetition. Repetition. So how does repetition affect how does repetition as a principle affect our artwork or our designs? When it comes to the things to do with backgrounds, things to do with textures, all these are created using repetition. You come up with a certain piece of design, and you go on creating copies of it to create repetition or to create the texture in your design. So I want us to look at, you've seen brands, common brands, maybe brands like, so many brands use repetition as their design, as their design style. When you look at brands like Gucci, you've already seen their products, maybe their clothing having logos repeatedly everywhere. I don't know if anyone is able to see this. When you look at this picture, this is a fashion or clothing brand. So they use logos in a repetition form to create design. So now we are into fashion design. We are not into graphics design or any other kind of design. So I'm trying to show you how these elements or these principles are applied everywhere. So repetition is one of the things you can use to come up with a nice looking design. So many clothing brands use that. I've seen Gucci, Louis Vuitton, so many. These are applied everywhere. As we go into I wanted us to design something quickly here. So I expect to get ideas from the audience. You can suggest a thing that we can come up with, maybe a flyer of a school, something small that we can design here. Anyone can suggest. The first two can suggest something that we can work on. Are you guys on?
Yes, members, what should we work on? Brian has unmuted.
Yes.
Can we design a calendar, or it is too big for this time?
Calendar, we shall need the dates, and it will take us longer time.
Okay.
Let's talk about something to do with maybe a social media flyer.
Yes, a super.
Sorry? Yes.
We have Easter coming up. Can we design something for Easter, like Itau Easter message?
Itau Easter message. Okay, I want us to. You said you want us to design Itau Easter message. So let's gather the information first. We know that since we are doing it for Itau, we need the Itau logo. So that one we shall have to get it. And let's try to create the space that we need. Usually when we are designing social media flyers, we tend to use square artboards or square spaces, so that this design is visible on every device. It can be clearly visible. So in this case, we are going to have it in 1000 by 1000 pixels. We're going to have something equal. Create this. You can, in the meantime, you can be thinking of the message you want me to put. The statement you want me to put. Okay, let me get all of those. Mr. Rogers, what message do you
Yes.
want us to? What message do you want us to send to the? What message is Itau sending to the people? The Easter message.
Let me get some message here and I put in the chat. Just a few minutes. Just a minute.
So I have the logo done here. I need to include. I need to borrow maybe a source of inspiration somewhere. What message do you want to send? Oh, Easter is something quite big. Yes. I happen to have a set of vectors that I use when it comes to design. This includes backgrounds, it includes patterns, several icons that I need, things like that in case I need any. So when you're designing, or if you oftenly design, you always have to get a set of the elements that you need closer to you. So, and you always have to be on internet, because that's where you can easily get the resources very fast. So, Mr. Rogers, any information you want us to put as I look for the background?
Yes, I've just been consulting a chatbot here, and he has given me some message here of 50 words. Let me post it in the chat.
Yes. As I look for let me get some photos.
Okay, I've put some simple text.
Yes.
Yes, I think the text is there already in the chat. So, Mr. Jalil, you can check the chat. The message is there.
Okay, I'm going to check. Okay, let me get a photo, something that I can use. I'm trying to gather elements that I need before I start to apply them. Where's the chat? Okay. This. So let me find somewhere to place this logo, bring it on top. I can decide to make the photo fill my entire artboard. So not all the time you need all the elements because you can't use everything. At least you can have some, that is if they are necessary in your design. It's not that every time you design, you're supposed to have the patterns, the illustrations. You apply what element is needed in that case. So since we are doing this for Easter, we are going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Remember, when you're designing, you're communicating. And whenever you communicate in a complicated way, you won't be understood. So it's always keen to keep that in mind, that I'm not designing for myself. I'm trying to communicate to the audience. I'm trying to pass on a message. I'm trying to pass on a message.
So now you're using a shape, the logo.
I'm using
picture.
a shape because since I've covered my entire artboard with the photo, my logo would get lost in if I was to put the logo here, it would easily get lost, or since it would not be clearly visible. So that's why I put a shape so that the logo can stand out alone. And I'm going to try to copy these colors so that I apply them in my design. It is like this, white, and, so this, then okay. Since we are not studying the software, some of these I will not explain them just to save time. Okay. So I have that. Then this saying Happy Easter, Itau members. So Happy Easter, Itau members is like our title. So we need to give it something pretty big. We need to make it bigger than the other text. I'll use maybe railway. Railway black. Of this here, and could make it centered, since I started with the concept of centering everything. Logo is centered and all that. shall have Happy Easter somewhere. Then we shall have it in white. And think of this. When you're dealing with text, it is always advisable to use less font types. Less font types. You'd rather use one font with different styles. What I mean by styles is this: black, bold, semi-bold, regular, all different sizes, but using one font. Otherwise, when you mix up the text, it will make your work look busy and hard to understand. Reflect, renew, celebrate. This is, let's remember the power of tech for good in education. So I usually love making the statements like these, power statements like this. I usually love having all these title case, then slightly bold. Okay, we'll have it in bold. Then maybe centered. Let's start November. Then I'm going to make this smaller. Make it smaller, then increase on the leading, give it some space. So I have the text, I have the photos, I have the logo, I have shapes. I need, but my text is not coming out well. Why? Because my background is a bit busy. So the other thing I'm going to use is, let me apply another shape, but with a gradient in it. I'm going to draw a shape. Let me get a rectangle. I apply it somewhere there and give it maybe a brown color, any color. Let me pick a color from the, then I'm going to give it, let me give it a gradient instead. I want to change the color of this to our brand colors. Come here again, change this as well to the brighter orange. The brighter orange. So I have my gradient there. You notice what I'm going to do with the gradient. First of all, I'm going to flip it at a 90 degree. I want it to be that, then flip it again. I want the dark one to be down and this to be up. I'm going to make the orange transparent. So I'm going to reduce on the opacity, maybe up to 0. Then I increase, I let the darker brown cover more of my lower part. Cancel. Then I'm going to bring the text. Let me first lock this. I'm going to bring the text on top of this shape. So you notice that initially my text, my fonts or my text wasn't visible. It was like this. We could barely see it because this is brown, this is dark. It has a very busy background. So to make my text look visible, I decided to put a shape behind it, but with a gradient. I want the shape to fade into the background. I don't want it to cut. I want it to fade into the background. So I'm going to bring out the text, Happy Easter members, then the subtext, then the body text or the last text. I can decide to leave it like this. This is also possible. This is also enough. However, if I have more elements, let's say we have to add in contacts, address, social media pages, more photos or icons. You can get icons, Easter icons. You can go. I need to share a
Or
screen.
maybe like social media icons for Itau and the website, or I don't know.
No, I wanted to get something on. I wanted to share a screen, but it is saying your screen sharing is paused.
Let me see here. Okay, you try again.
Thank you. Wanted to go online. So, I said, like I said, as designers or as people who often use design, you always have to have whatever you need closer to you. In this case, I mean the elements and all the stuff that you need to put in your designs. So, meaning you have to know the websites that have these elements. You have to know how to use the internet and quickly get all this content in time. So in this case, I want us to use, there's a site that designers commonly use called FreePic. I want us to go and get some, to see whether we can find Easter elements. So if I put in Easter, it's going to load. Some of these results don't come up when you misspell the words. So we have an illustration of the Easter bunny. We have the eggs. I'm pretty not sure about the eggs with Easter. I don't know, but I usually see people using them. I don't know the theory behind. We have the cross. We can also add the cross. We have so many. We have the background, egg background. We have this, though this is a photo. So you look at what element you can add in. Some of these are vectors that you can download and readjust. So let's try to find something that we can add in our artwork. Let's get this, download it. And okay, so my microphone had gone off. Let's download this and save it. Okay. Let's open this, close, and open with Illustrator. Mr. Rogers, are you people able to see Illustrator here?
Not yet. We were seeing briefly.
Okay, let's try to let's share again. Let's share again. Okay, hope we can be able to see this. So I've downloaded this as a vector or as an editable Illustrator file. I'm going to take it to my project and see where I can apply it. Okay, I've downloaded a Holy Cross, but I think we have a Holy Cross somewhere in our design. So it will make no sense if we have the same content in our artwork. We could literally maybe have something represent somewhere here and change the color of this to white for it to match. Nope. Yeah, for it to match. We could have this. The hill, we can leave it out. These, we can leave them out. So we don't need any of these. So I'm going to delete this. So now, as a creative, I would think of where to fix this holy cross. I can decide to kill my T and use the cross as my T. So I'll create space there and bring this in, then make it white. Does it come out? We just try to reduce on this so that happy. Okay. Something like that. Does it communicate? Feedback.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it is
almost
communicating.
It's communicating, eh? You know, you see, you have to be keen when you're adding things in your design. And sometimes people might not understand it. You've ever seen adverts on TV and fail to understand what the concept is about. However, however much you watch the advert. So at times you miscommunicate. So in this case, I think our poster is done. So the first one is here. If I was in a hurry, I would consider this. If I had some time, I would add in more details like these icons. These illustrations from Freepik, which I've got from Freepik. Then also, if I had more time, I would try to join this bird. I want to join it with the text to make it part of it. I don't want it to look like I've just dropped it there. So I can as well go and break down my text, create outlines. Okay, I can as well go and break down my text and re-edit it. So I pull this H and pull this here. Create something that rhymes with the photo that I've added for it not to look like an old man out. So we have the bird fitting on the H. You see, I'm trying to create relationship with every element that I add in here. Here, there's nothing much to change. Okay, maybe to increase on the size of the cross so that it also looks like it looks like the text with that size. Balance it. Then also have so I think we are done with our design. The flyer is done. So why I made it this way is this first. I knew what I wanted to add. So whenever you're given a project or anything, you're coming up with a design, you have to brainstorm and see how you build up your concepts. So someone wants a flyer or someone wants a website or someone wants something, you always have to build concepts and know what do I need to add in this artwork. If you know all that, then you start gathering the elements required. After you gather them, then you drop them into the software, any software that you're using, and you start to lay them out and come up with your, and get done with your concept. As simple as that. Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Jalil, thank you very much. Colleagues, we need to have any comments. I know many of us Illustrator is you go to NASA, you find people who have not done others don't even know English very well, but I think it requires some creativity and it requires patience for you to learn it. If you see Jalil, the power of the mouse. Yeah, so let us have some comments. So questions, we can have like 3-4 comments because of time, so that we can be able to wrap up. You can see we are already beyond 9. Yeah, so we have Herbert. You can unmute. Just put up your hand in case you want to say a comment or question.
Yes,
You
thank
can.
you.
Mm.
My name is Albert. I'm from Hibiscus Peace High School in Ntungam. First of all, I thank Jalil for the skills that he has delivered to us. Work is good. I really thank you. One thing I would like to understand is that it's like the software for Adobe I'm using here is quite different from yours. I don't know if is it possible someone can update it from the website, or it can be downloaded, or you need to subscribe for it for you to get a latest version.
To get the latest version. Okay, am I going to, should I answer question by question? Is it okay?
Yes, since we are taking around 4, so you can answer question by question.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Herbert. Now, softwares, everyone can have different softwares depending on the computers they have, depending on the capability, anywhere, anything, you can have any software. Design is not created by latest softwares. That is why in my I named this topic as create fast and impressive designs in any software. I personally use Illustrator. I can create the same thing in Photoshop. Someone else can create it in Canva. Another one can create it in Corel Draw or Microsoft Word. So what matters most is you creating, is you being prepared as a designer, knowing what to use and how to use it to come up with concepts. Here at our school, at Carl ICT School here in Kabalagala, we usually have presentations, and we have students presenting their work done in different softwares. So you find someone having very nice work in Microsoft Word, and the other person having fake work in a professional design software, Adobe Illustrator. So what matters most is you building, is you knowing the design, the cores of the design process. Any software you can use. Now, talking about downloading and getting, you can download these websites. The links will be shared in the chat. You can download and get the latest softwares. Links will be shared in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let us have Simon Chibuka.
Thank you very much, Rogers. I want to appreciate Mr. Jalil for the presentation. I, for one,
Yes.
I do graphics designing.
Yes.
At since campus, but now
okay.
my question to the presenter.
Yes.
In most cases, we find us as graphics designers, when you happen to do it as a side job, in most cases, the clients we chase, we don't normally accept their work simply because they put us on tension, and sometimes they end up they don't like the basics. For example, the principles we normally use, the ones we have talked about. Sometimes they want something different. Maybe you can talk about how you work with such clients. Thank you.
Okay, I happen to get the same issues Okay, I used to. These days, not so much. I used to get such challenges. You're designing for someone and you try to make your work look beautiful, and the client is not impressed. So this is what you do. When you take, the day you start taking your design profession as a business, is the day you start making money out of graphics design. So you have to put yourself in the client's shoes. You have to think like a client sometimes. Listen to them. Even if you're right, there's something they want. There's something they want in their artwork. At some point, it may not be even in the principles and all that. They may maybe just want you to add a photo here, add another photo here, depending on what kind of audience they are targeting. So the client knows more. Your role is to make their work look nice. So if you give them like an option 1 and option 2 and they are not okay with it, you can work with them hand in hand and see how you can improve on it. Yes. However, you're also allowed to guide the client as a professional. But if they're not willing to take it on, the end result is earning money out of it. So they're the people who are going to pay you. If you can't do what they want, you lose out.
Okay, one more. You can unmute and say your comment. Anyone who has another comment or question as we wrap up, just unmute. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Jalil, thank you very much. I know graphics is a very big topic, and one of the things that makes you to be an ICT person is if you can at least do something good when it comes to graphics. Because you are the ICT person at school, they will want some small graphic and you can't deliver anything. And like Mr. Jerry has said, you master a tool. There are some people who use Paint and they can they can do something. And I find someone, but Illustrator is a professional software. When you go to like if you go to NASA, you find everyone using Illustrator, Photoshop, and all that.
And some of these softwares, they limit us. So and remember, as a designer or as someone who is in the creative or innovation industry, you always want to think outside the box. You want to go broad on everything. So you also have to look for options, softwares that deliver much more options and more advanced options.
Yes. Yeah, like some of us, there are things which are killing our creativity. We have tools like, for example, Canva. It has already inbuilt design. So you just click on something and you just change text. But it is not very granular like Illustrator, where, as you saw here, he could be able to get the text. He could even adjust, make the text become like the text became like shapes, and he merged the bird with the happy, and so there is really a lot of craftsmanship with some of these tools. Yeah, but other tools, even we are having things like AI and others which are trying to come up. Yeah, but it is good that as trainers and as teachers, we get to the first principles. Things like logos. Logos is another topic altogether. Yeah, so I think members, I hope you have learned something. But most importantly, we are teaching learners. This time we are teaching web design, and graphics are part and parcel of websites. You need to have the logo. You need to have even the photos need to be sometimes. Yeah, so we need to have. Actually, it's one of the things on the scheme on preparing media for the work we are doing. So, Mr. Jalil,
yes, sir.
Maybe your parting shot, and I'll be able to just say one or two announcements and shall be able to close. Mr. Jalil,
Yes, sir.
I think you are through, or if you have any final words, the members.
My final remarks. First of all, I would like to thank you so much for this opportunity to let me join the Each One Teach One series. I loved this personally, and I would love to come back again. Secondly is I encourage my fellow ICT teachers to always have to always discover more, because ICT is a fast-paced industry. You learn something today, tomorrow something new comes in, and something much more easier. Now we have AI. Let's use AI a lot. I personally use AI on some of my content creation projects. I happen to have a channel. I don't know if you can allow me to share it. I have a YouTube channel where I create self-help content, but in this I use AI to do the voicing, and when I do the voicing, I bring in my video softwares, I edit and I upload on my YouTube channel. So briefly, allow me to show you that, and we can then I can see. So this is my channel. My channel is called Wealthy Folks Cast. This is my channel. I just created it, and it talks more of investing, business, talks about money, talks about self-help content, and I don't voice my videos. I use AI to voice the videos for me, and I edit them and come up with an already edited video. So you can follow through and subscribe to get the latest videos. Otherwise, thank you so much, Mr. Host, Mr. Rogers, for this opportunity. That's it from me.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm also having just 2 announcements. Members, we are committed to continue having the Each One Teach One series. If you have something that you want to share, you can be able to tell us. You reach out to us, reach out to Stephen, reach out to Mr. Wamono, reach out to us so that we can be able to schedule you. This is Each One Teach One. We don't want the same people every time to be coming. So we have looked at graphics. There could be something you want to show in database next week or in another topic that you're teaching. So you can be able to convene, and then we shall be able to have you. Then 2, we have events that are coming up. You see, when we meet online, that is good. But when we meet physically, again, that is very good. So as ICT Teachers Association of Uganda, we have a partnership with WordPress community. So most of the events of WordPress, we have always supported them. So we have the WordPress in Education Technology Showcase. This is happening in Masaka. Those who went to WordCamp Masaka, you can be able to come, and it is going to be in April. Yeah, but what it requires is not to just come. This is special. You prepare your learners. The graphic skills will be important because one of the things they are going to be showcasing on their websites and all that. So prepare your learners as you are teaching them web design, and then after you get those ones who are a bit good, and come and fill in a form call for applications. Just fill in the form, and then your school and everything. So your learners will be given a chance to come and present their projects and their work which they have done, and there will be presents from international companies which are sponsoring these events. So we have WordPress in Technology Showcase. It's going to be happening. The call of application is open. It's going to be happening in April 6 in Masaka. And then 2, we also have the WordPress projects competition also. These are sort of like word counts, but they're somehow different. This one here is also similar, but this one is going to be more of a competition, not just a showcase. It's going to be happening in Nakawa in July. That is in second term. But also we want you to prepare your learners, and then you come here and you fill in call for projects. So get some good learners, maybe ICT club members, and introduce them to web design. It's a topic this term. For these particular projects, they require WordPress, but there will be many conditions that should be considered for exceptional projects. And for this particular one, I'm the lead organizer. We have presents. There's going to be cash. So your learners will go with some dummy check, maybe 1 million shillings, maybe what. So there's going to be cash prizes for learners projects in this particular event. So it's going to be in July. Okay, so please, these ones, they want you to participate. There will be a program. So just check the links, just search for, I'm going to share the links again in the chat. WordPress in the technology showcase in Masaka, and also the competition in July. There are many other WordCamps coming up. There will be WordCamp Ginger in September, and then WordCamp Leader in October. Yeah, and also there are many events happening. Then finally, as shareability, we are also having outreaches. We had some events. We have the next event happening on Women's Day at Mbara Secondary School. We want to thank everyone who came for the previous events that happened. So the one of Women's Day, so far 22 people have registered, and we hope to see you on Women's Day at Mbara SS in Mbara town. So basically, that is what I wanted to say. Many other events which will be coming up by Itau and other partners. Mr. Wamono, I don't know if you have any comment. Otherwise, that is it from me. And I want to thank members, and Mr. Jalil, thank you very much for sharing with us.
Maybe something small, Rogers. One, I wanted to appreciate my colleague, Mr. Jalil, for being with us today on this call for Each One Teach One series. I also appreciate all members for turning up whenever we call upon you people. We don't buy for you data, we don't do what, but always spare time and come and learn with us. I'm Cody Wamono Michael, CEO MK Graphics Designers. You always see my post here and there in Itau and the other platforms. So members, as Mr. Jalil mentioned, creativity does not end. So we always have to get that extra skill as ICT teachers, such that we can do our own things here and there. Because as Mr. Rogers said, we are in a term where we're supposed to teach website designing to our learners in schools. So we need these things. We need the skills of designing things, different things, logos, what polishing on our photos. So I encourage members, please, to always have that extra skill, always inquire, always share with us, and then we see what to do. So members, I thank you everyone for turning up in big numbers, I can say, and always spare the time, because almost is half past the required time, but you have been there throughout the session. So thank you very much, as we are meeting in the next session of Each One Teach One. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. Mr. Dumba was a bit busy today, but I don't know whether he's now free, but I think that is it. We are going to be concluding at this point. Mr. Dumba, I think he's unable to unmute. Okay, thank you very much, members. I want to wish you all a nice evening. May God bless you all.